Hello everybody and welcome to part 15 of my God King Boudicca series. I kind of have some good news. I'm practically on the verge of losing my voice, which means I will not be flapping my jaw any more than need be. So I hope you're prepared for a little bit of silence as we pass each turn. A few quick corrections I want to address at the very end of the last part. We developed this farm, but we did not move the citizen over like this. Also, in Edinburgh, I had assigned Coliseum as the next build project, but considering how before the settler, the Raiders Guild was the last thing we built, we definitely want the garden here. It'll, if you count it off from here, it'll knock at least one turn off of our writer, which means tourism gets on. We win one turn sooner, in theory. But nevertheless, we get to start influencing people one turn sooner. And then, last but not least, I was looking at our ranged units and our gold situation. It's not good, the gold situation, obviously. This guy is triple promoted, whereas the other ones over here are double promoted. So I've been considering moving him over. And yeah, it's going to take some time, but nevertheless, we have to have time to get set up, and we don't know when we're going to pounce. So that's the plan moving forward, which means one of the other combo in the south near Kilimanjaro, we're going to go ahead and move him back towards Denmark. May purchase with faith. Berlin is the last city that we have right now that needs a mosque. So that's going to be the best way to keep those buildings flowing. Getting this policy. It says 17 turns. We'll have this guy in about 10. He bulbs for about 8 worth. So once he pops out, we should be able to start generating some tourism. City connection established. Citrus for sugar. So we're going to try and re-up that because happiness is something of a challenge right now. Yeah, no, whenever they want 3 for 1, just abandon it. Alright, so that's bittersweet because we're going to lose out on the happiness from citrus, but we're going to get some gold per turn instead. And gold is stretched very thin right now. We still have 3 combos that we want to upgrade, and we have a monument we want to purchase in our new city. So we're going to count this off real quick. 1, 2, 3, that's 1 movement point. 4, he's not going to be here because he's coming down here. He's coming up onto the hill. He's coming to do cocoa. And after that, we should pretty much be done with Cork. We can move on to the new city. But the point being is 1, 2, 3, 1 movement point. Next turn, 1, 2, that's 2 turns from now. So 2 more turns of gold before we drop a city. At 68, that's 136. Added to this is, wait, did I call? Yeah, 136, 390, 400 gold even. It's 280 for the monument. So we only have gold for 1 more upgrade, and we would like for it to be this guy. But he's going to come over here, so we can count this off too. 1 whole movement, 1, 1, 1, step and upgrade. So that we're not going to bother upgrading him here because step and upgrade is better than using all your movement points to upgrade. What else we got going here? New unit from Almaty. Longbowman. Alright, we'll take his first promotion. We'll go get him altitude training. Japan and Ethiopia are now friends. This could be a problem. Ethiopia did see us take Copenhagen, but I suspect once he sees us attack Portugal, he's not going to like us, and the fact that he's friends with Japan and Japan really doesn't like us means we're probably going to lose Ethiopia even faster than we otherwise would have. So I'm not happy about that. Alright, Glasgow finishes the temple. Looks like we have time for amphitheater and aqueduct before growth, so that's what we will do. In Nantes, basically we're getting to Caelid Hall, so aqueducts are important even in the non-guild cities since we're the Celts. Nantes has time to build university, then aqueducts, so that's what we're going to do. Berlin says 5 turns for aqueduct, 5 turns for growth, but that's actually going to work out because if you'll recall, we have this guy coming to chop stuff down. So when these two numbers say 4 turns to go, this will say 3 turns to go, which means when these say 2, this will say 1. We manually chop. That drops this number down to 1 while this stays 2. We get the aqueduct. We benefit from the aqueduct. Very important in this city. So I'm glad that that timing works out the way it is there. Chop, chop, guys. Let's get that wood coming down. We're going to come chop this hill down, this hill down. Looks like we'll have time to do both. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We do not have open borders with Shoshone, and it's not worth getting it just for this little piece of visibility. So if we had more natural wonders to find, it would be worth considering, but we don't, so that's just that. Okay, this guy's going to come to the forefront. We'll get this guy into the city tile. He'll come here. We'll get the Great General in. Let's see here. He's coming here. He's coming here. These two are also coming up. It's good to see these two do not bump. This guy's actually going to start backing off. So we'll come over here. Let's see. He's building a lumber mill, I believe, because Nantes is actually working that tile. He's just going to sit tight. He's going to get in position to dance on the hill. And he's going to come down here. So there's all that. We'll put that guy to sleep, and we are good to go. That's another piece of good news about this episode. Since everybody's just pooling in Cork, and then once the new city's down, we'll start transferring, because these guys will be able to jump from in border to in border, so as not to trigger her. Oh, why are you so close? It's mostly going to be like make a few moves and pass the turn, so we should be able to cover a fair amount of ground in this short period of time. In terms of chronology. Borders of Truro have grown. Okay, that's useless. Quallen and Poor longs for culture. They're way over here, so I can't imagine we'd be in the running for that. Truro finishes its aqueduct. So we will start the university. We're not going to be able to populate it right away, but that's okay. The multiplier will still help. Cardiff has its university, so let's go ahead and put that guy in there. Next build, we are able to fit the aqueduct in time before the next growth, so that's good. Looks like all of our workers are spoken for, so this should be a relatively quick turn. Mountain Hill, we're not going to be able to see anything from there, so we'll just come up onto this hill and head down to where the cloud is. Looks like stepping here, we'll get the rest of this. So we'll have this guy start leaning towards the east so that this guy actually has something to do. Otherwise, we're going to have to delete one of them. Alright. So let's take a look here. Settler comes up here. We're still in a position to pay for one upgrade, but we want it to be Mr. Triple here. So he's coming into border so he can heal. We can just keep him there for now. We'll come up on the hill. It's nice to see that this tile is undeveloped. In fact, I want to move him here. We lose sight on this tile, and that should be okay for now. I want to get eyes on this tile. If these tiles are undeveloped, then we might be able to anticipate a worker dangling there, and maybe when it's turn for starting the war, we can take advantage of that. That would be interesting. Okay, everybody's piling in. He's triple promoted, so we're going to need this guy to get out of everybody's way. Well, let's put him to the back. Oh, he can't reach that. Okay, so we'll move him to the back this turn. These two will swap places next turn, and that way we have the triple promoted to the back, or to the front. In fact, maybe we do a three-way with these guys if we got to fit another one. Doesn't look like we will, though. He's going down to get his altitude training. Where we go from there remains to be seen. Ruh-roh. Okay. Well, hopefully he doesn't get attacked from there, because we can step back and shoot unmolested. Maybe this guy comes over to help. In fact, if you look at Denmark, the way the tiles are laid out, picture a melee here, ranged here, longbowman here, we would actually have 3 shots, including the city of Bombard, on all 3 of these tiles. That should make it easier to defend. So maybe we have the longbowman take up home over here, because we don't really need to send them to our front line. We want our front line to be all of our promoted crossbow so that they can actually, you know, get into logistics, get into range, so that by the time they come Gatling guns, they're not, you know, totally useless. Okay, we get a mine rolling there. We're gonna just chill, 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 and that's everything for this turn. Alright, so we want to keep eyes on the camp as we pass the turn. It's too bad we're not going to have time to heal up that pikeman, but we might not actually need that time. Alrighty. Borders of Edinburgh have grown, and they've chosen the wrong tile. That is not good, because now it's going to take 12 turns for us to get the right tile, which means this worker cannot actually start chopping down any of these forests. We don't want to give Edinburgh another choice. We have to have that tile. Oh well, what can you do? Losing grasp on Antwerp. Ooh. Furs and necklace. It's our only copy of each. Okay. I don't think we can afford to not pay these guys. Luckily, 250 is the same exchange rate as 500. So we kick the can down the road in 21 turns. We'll have Caelid Halls up to compensate. Will the war will be underway or over? Who knows? I don't think we can afford not to do this. Now the timing, it couldn't be worse. We are already stretched for cash. Luckily, the first of the next crossbow promotions we're giving is to a guy who's not even in borders yet. So there's that. Oh, you know what? I should have done these guys first, because that's going to be happiness. But still, losing them would be a loss of 8 happiness. We can't afford that. No way, no how. See ya. Alright, Edinburgh. We finish a farm there. Let's see if we take something out of the university and put it there. We grow a turn quicker, so that's good. We still have this tile, and technically this tile to grow into. Oh, and the cotton as well, so the fact that we're not picking up this tile right away is not the end of the world, but, you know, with Cardiff going the way it did, it's just a tragedy that the tiles aren't working out a little bit better. Maybe it's our density. Okay, on to library here, because we'll definitely be at 4 pot by the time that finishes. We got a chop finish here, expedites the university by 1 turn. Chop here. Goes to Edinburgh, but does not expedite the garden, and that's fine. We'll chop this down. So we'll step back to something more safe, and we'll just have this guy come down. We would like to have him heal up first, but that's okay. We have a hill here, so we'll be able to go do that next turn. 1, 2. We have a hill there, so he'll be able to zoom next turn. Okay, I believe we said we wanted these two to swap like so. Settler is going to drop next turn. So I want to bring this guy back now, because they were only out here to secure the settle, and it looks like it's ours. He can come back. Okay, no worker dangle yet. Maybe I leave him there, though, and keep eyes like that, because they can't see us from here. If we were on the hill, they could. But they can't see us from here, so we can keep eyes on if they're going to send a worker out or not. So there's that. Yep, we got to tell all these guys to chill. Okay, nice and quick. I like it. So we'll take our eyes back over to the camp and pass the turn. It's too bad that longbow can't step and shoot. The camp, I mean. Lhasa seeks a great musician. Alright. May purchase with faith. City hasn't been dropped yet, so it's Pagoda's time. Pagoda's time in Cardiff. Poor Cardiff. Look at Cardiff. 4 tiles, all of which we need to keep the city growing. So I definitely think this is the best idea for buying a building that's going to give us culture. Cork has grown, so we'll go ahead and do that. Hey, Douglas and Dublin, love the king for connecting wine. You guys are welcome. 2 turns to finish the long swordsman. Oh, that reminds me. We bought Faith, and I want to check this out. Alright, we'll have a chance to buy with faith again in 3 turns, but acoustics will be online in 3 turns. And that will jump an era, which will make things cost more. So we might want to start filling things up from other eras before finishing acoustics. What we'll do is we'll run out the clock on acoustics, and that way at will we can pick it up and get Caelid Halls rolling. So what were we doing over here? Dublin. Oh yeah, I slotted into the university. That makes him take 2 turns. Hey, that's a good indicator right there. When he comes out, that'll be our signal to change tech. Okay, Lhasa Seek's a great musician. Next we want to deal with these guys. You see here 2 and 2. We chop. It did indeed drop to 1 right before 2, so that's perfect. We'll get the benefit there. It's a very important city for doing that in. Let's see here. We will get more gold per turn here. So there's that. City's dropping this turn, so you can see it's going to take us 2 turns to get enough money to buy the monument. So we're just going to treat it like the monument's up by choosing Shrine as our first build project. Production focus, good growth tile. Let's see. He wants to continue to keep... there we go. Okay, so we'll probably work this tile and then get started on one of these tiles. Right around the time we're going to actually want to go to war, so that's perfect. Meanwhile, since we have borders here, these guys can start filtering in. We'll get this guy here and here just to protect it. This great general can move there. We'll get the triple promoteds next in online, and then he can go there. He can go there. He can go there. Get him on the road. Zoom. Bit of a traffic jam, but nevertheless. Okay. So he's going to have 2 turns of movement, and then the turn after that will probably be able to pay for his promotion, or 2 turns either way. So let's see here. He's shooting, and we can move him like so. He should be able to shoot there next turn. Might as well get a mine up there. It's not going to be in time for this growth, but that's okay because we're not working the iron tile yet. Okay, I noticed when we grew here that the next growth is going to be insanely long, and now that this guy is out of stuff to do in Edinburgh for the time being, maybe we have him go put up a farm on one of these plains tiles so that we have an option for Dublin. Let's see, we'll finally pick up one of these tiles in 2 turns, so we'll have him start heading more towards the center of all that action. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. I see the hills here, so we should be able to zoom next turn as well. Let's see, Glasgow, growth in 10. Might be here, that's freshwater. Might be here, that's freshwater. So what we can do in the meantime is chop these 2 down. Maybe that gives us 3 options, I don't know. But we will see how it goes. Okay, we're watching the camp. It's nice that all this planning is finally going to start coming to fruition. Borders of Cork have grown. That's not the tile we wanted. What are the other options? Yeah, the only other option was a river farm. That would have been so much nicer. Ooh, lots going on here, so let's take a look. We want to try to address the open borders first. No? Okay, 2 gold per turn. Before we weigh in on that, let's take a look. No, that's not the screen I want. Let's take a look at this. And the Inca are 3rd place. So open borders aren't necessarily going to be critical with them. The Mayans and the Portugals first. But Portugal, we're going to be destroying their culture accumulation anyways. So they might drop down to 3rd and after the Inca. Shoshone's a close 4th. And of course with the world hating us, bartering for those open borders is going to be a bit of a chore. We do have lots of other things we can sell, though. Let's sell wine here. This is actually great. I mean, it would be nice to be able to trade these for more happiness, but right now the gold per turn is definitely something we can benefit from. Japan's the only other person that wants the cotton, so we'll see what he wants for it. Says 4. Can we make it 5? We can. Alright, and then iron, it said, was Haley, so we'll try to... That makes sense. We'll spread out our trades and whatnot. Quebec City and... Oh, Quebec City and Portugal now allies. That's a big problem. Alright, so let's see. We'll slide him over here. We'll slide him over here. We'll slide this guy down. We'll probably have the military superiority. It's just a matter of how much forces to bring. We need 1 blocker here. 2 blockers over here seems good. We should get a couple ranged. Yeah, the long swordsman's coming out next turn, but he's got to go get his altitude training. So let's bring this guy back. And one of these guys and one of these guys. Yeah, the 2 promoted. Actually, no. Let's take the guy who hasn't been upgraded yet, because he can upgrade along the way, presumably. Get all of our best peeps up here. Okay, so we have to be careful about going outside of our borders too much, because 1 unit outside of borders or having a bunch of guys in units might not be enough, but the 2 together, and I don't mean 1 specifically, but like if I had somebody like dangling out here, to have another melee out that way would be a problem. So we'll just do something like this. Like so. Alright, this guy comes up here. He's done. Yeah, we should address workers. Lumber mill there. Farm there in Cork, which means 6. Growth in 5. That speeds things up a turn. Nice. The cost of 1 gold per turn, but gold's okay. We got to remember to buy the monument there next turn, but gold's okay. Otherwise, we'll get our promotions in a timely fashion. Aqueduct. In fact, now that I think about it, since we have to mobilize against Quebec City, the turn we declare war against Maria would be delayed until we have that shored up, so we don't get destroyed in the south while everybody's in the north. Aqueduct is finished in Berlin, 1 turn ahead of when we needed it. Nice. And temple is our most direct way to influence culture and happiness right now. Culture being our win condition, and then science after that. So yeah, the temples are very important in cities that don't have it. Garden, if I remember correctly, didn't this say... Did it say 11? Or no, it would have said like 12. I don't know. I'd have to go back and see if we saved a turn or 2. But nevertheless, we did save some time. It says 13 turns to go there, so 6 plus 8 is 14. We'll definitely get our Reformation belief when he pops out. On to Colosseum in the capital. I don't know if we're going to build another settler right away. We might have to wait for Caelid Halls to start rolling out. That remains to be seen, because we're actually going to be attacking cities. We'll go with Colosseum here. Still going to focus on happiness wherever we can. Porto, if we conquered it right now, would be 6 pop, which means 6 turns to burn. A lot of unhappiness at first. Of course, that winds down over time. And then, of course, if we keep it even as a puppet, that's going to weigh on our happiness as well. And then, of course, what's their capital city? I don't know. Their capital city, I'll just say that afterwards. So, yeah, he's taking a peek. Okay, that worker finishes its project there, so maybe it dangles. Hopefully we can get this war started before the worker is finished over there. Alright, let's take a look at this. 1 turn until growth. Alright, so if we move into the city tile, we reach 3 of them in 1 turn. Could actually start 1 same turn, and 1 takes 2 turns, so this just seems like the best place to be. This guy can actually start on this farm right now, and that is within the 3 tiles of Dublin, so we could work that once it's finished. This means we get there a turn sooner, so that's nice. Here we can land on either one of these, which is nice because they can also land on either one of these, so whichever one they don't occupy we will go ahead and chop down from. And it looks like we should be able to clear this out next turn. I'll stay here rather than on top of the camp, just in case it spawns a horse. You don't want the horse like running around and figuring out a way to squeeze into the tiles. We wouldn't be able to address that in time. Although the fact that we are pikemen would definitely help in that regard. Okay, speaking of pikemen. So in terms of the front line, I would like a strong melee off to the side. As far as our one lone pikeman on this front, he's coming along mostly for gobbling tiles. In the event that she is able to throw a horse at us, though, it's most likely going to come in from the east. So we're probably going to want him sprinkled over here, however that works out to be. We will have to see when the time comes. So let's put eyes on the camp and pass the turn. I'm glad we got the heads up on that Quebec City before we started the war. That would have been disastrous. So maybe it's good that we'll have a small detachment in the south. That way if other city-states get turned while we're trying to address things in the north, we won't get like totally butt surfed. Okay, I can see right now this is down to one turn. So we need to decide, kind of, if we would go straight back to chivalry on our way to banking, or maybe come up this way to get another caravan online. This brings a caravan too and the option for bank, so I think this is the way to go. But depending on how happiness goes, we might be able to occupy most of these techs just to try to milk the buildings costing 200 for the time being, because once we hit Renaissance they go up to 300. But as you can see, we're going to be picking them up pretty quick either way. But anyways, in Berlin we grow. We move that over to workshop for the time being, so that farms up. Truro has grown into the iron tile, makes sense. Let's see. Orders of Cardiff grow. Of course, it's the hardest one to get, although that's kind of bittersweet because it's a tile we get instead of river tile we get instead of so it's good to have that in our borders. How long until the next one? 15 turns. Wow, that sucks. Monaco longs for culture. At this point, we might actually be able to compete because we're going to be throwing down those buildings. Dido has made peace with Harold Bluetooth, and she managed to take one of his cities. So the risk of him coming after us has increased, potentially. This is the turn that we can buy our monument. Oh, you know, if we had cleared the camp last turn, we could have done it last turn. Oh no, we wouldn't have been able to. Yeah, we would have. Either way. Anyway, so now we can actually start focusing on upgrading our comp balls. We'll do this one first, obviously, but then the one heading down to Quebec City needs to be next. Workers. If we go here and here, he should be able to hop onto the hill next turn, then start working on the wheat next turn. He could pre-build a road here, hop onto the hill, put a farm here. He can pre-build the road, and whenever it comes time to jump up for the salt, to be ready for that, we'll just do that. And then the city will be paying for itself in that regards. Longswordman is out. We did change our tech, so good on us. Fortunately, this guy has to be going over to get his altitude training. We'll have this guy come down here. He's going to come over here. He's going to come over here. I wish these guys could get here faster, but what are you going to do? This gets him onto the roads. And these guys are coming down, so at least there's that. Yeah. Okay, what would this guy do? Nantes grows in one turn and can pick up this freshwater farm. Meanwhile, Douglas's borders are growing in 8 turns, but citizens are growing in 1. So let's come here, because from here we can 1 full movement point, start a freshwater farm. If not, we'd probably start one here, or if Nantes picks up something else that's worth our attention right away, we can go there. So let's move there for options. Longswordsman is done here. So we'll start an aqueduct, but whenever it does come to pass that we pick up acoustics, we can do a Caled Hall there. And this tile is available to us, so let's jump on that first. Dublin is not actually interested in that tile. Probably because it's 3rd tile. That's okay. That means we should have chopped that one down first, but oh well. 1, 2. Before I move his final point, let's move this guy. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Borders here. mountain. Mountain here. Okay. So it looks like this might be the one we delete. So let's get this guy off of here. He can come up on the hill next turn, hopefully. And go from there. Alrighty, we're filtering through everywhere we can. Triple promoted, triple promoted. Let's see. Get him near. Get him near. Great General to the front. Alright, so now he can see us here, but that's okay because when it comes time to pounce, we're going to want to capture him. So we can't, like, retreat to not be seen there. Let's have these two swap places. Because like I said, we're going to want the... no, this works out because we'll have one central, one east, one west. And then we'll filter in wherever we can. Yeah, should be fine. Alright. Okay. One more turn, I think. Horses full value, just before we declare war. That's always good. Pachacuti has... Zanzibar wants Taoism. That's good. They're right in our backyard. And we're about to stomp Maria, so we'll be able to reduce. And here's what we're talking about, right? Hey, look at that. Avarice Whiff actually does grow, or flip. So we can buy a mosque here. Very good. That means we're saturated on mosques once again. And it now means that we pick up the salt in 2 turns. So again, like I was saying, he hops up on the hill. He pre-builds road here this turn. He pre-builds road here this turn. And then next turn, he can get started on the wheat. He can come up on the hill to do a farm. He can come here to step onto the salt next turn. That seems to work out real well. I'm glad all those workers are working out. And then as far as tiles that we might be pillaging up here, we'll have a worker there. So this is starting to look real good as far as all that goes. Douglas grows into the workshop. We'll put it here because it looks like we did not pick up this tile from Nante's growth, and what we did pick up is not worth our attention, so we'll get this guy working on a farm here. Got to keep Douglas growing. It has a target population of 12 before ideology. I wish we could get these freshwater tiles into our borders. Luckily, Douglas picks us up guaranteed in 7, so from here we'll probably come up here, chop this down, get the freshwater farm going. Yep. Edinburgh grows. Is that what I saw? It is. Okay. Growth in 9. Growth in 10. Ugh. Ugh. I want to grow. Short-term sacrifice, long-term gain. We are getting universities up elsewhere and even working them to some extent. So, and you can see here, still doing about 70, but now that's closer to 40%. So that's fine. Now, what would that change anyways? Science per turn is 68.62. So about 6, 5.5. I mean, that's not insignificant, but I think the growth in 1 turn is worth more. In the short term anyways. He only has 1 gold, he has 2. Actually, let's hold off on that, because this might be the turn we barter for war, and we want these guys to have as much of their gold as possible in case they'll give it to us for that. You know what I mean? Like if he's willing to pay 2 gold per turn, then we sell the horses to him and we end up with 3 gold instead of just 2. Alright, so they want culture. We have the lead, only 2 turns remain, and they want Taoism. And it's... by the timer here, they should have Taoism in like 3 turns. So Zanzibar is going to be a source of happiness. So this is really good as far as not getting on top of acoustics right away, right? Alright, so building in Glasgow, finish the amphitheater. We do have time for aqueduct before growth, so let's do that. Aqueduct is finished in Cardiff. So I guess it's on to Artists Guild and then Garden. Seems a bit premature. Well, it'll come at the price of university specialist slots. It's unfortunate that we can't come up onto this hill here. One. Let's see. One. Is this a hill? It is. So we can try to move there. We succeed. He comes here, doesn't do anything, and then we delete him. Alright, we have money for a crossbow upgrade, so let's make sure we don't overlook that. We come here, and there it is. We're checking the south, see if we can shore up like we want. We come there, good. Let's see, we come here. Oh, he can actually reach that hill. That's excellent, because that means he comes here, and now we're secure enough to start a war. Excuse me. He's going to get his altitude training. He's coming back to participate in the Southern War. Nice reach. He can, I guess, come here. We can reach everywhere we need to from there, more or less. And then he comes down. He'll be able to upgrade next turn. And then we should be good to go as far as that goes. Because that leaves the only other combo being this one over here. Alright, so we bring him into borders. We reach the capital in the city town in 2 turns, so healing up there will only take 2 turns. Then again, he wants to occupy the city town, so maybe we end up in the forest and then just fortify. That seems like a good idea. Alright. Okay. So it is time to barter for war, I think. Yep, that's all the decisions we have left to make. Nope, this guy here. And then back up to... Whoa, I did not mean to do that. We don't want to take him out of the action pool. Okay, guys, it is time to barter for war. So, let's shop around and see who will pay us to attack Maria. Will it be you? I almost hit propose. I do that a lot too. What do you want for this? Nothing? Okay. What will you give me for this? Nothing? Okay. What will you give me for this? Nothing. What about you? I should study what goes into whether or not people are willing to pay you. She's actually neighbors with them, and I think she had approached us at one point. So, if things don't work out, we can approach her about joining us. Nope. Okay, so on Dido, discuss. Shall we declare war against Maria? Not in my best interest, so I must decline. Alright, who else would want to go to war with her? Probably nobody. We can check Pachacuti. Nope. Okay. So it's just declare war. So before we do, let's go ahead and get full value for this horse. And what we can do now, instead of just running and capturing the worker, is come here to declare war. And this will give us an idea of what we're looking at. So there's 2 luxuries involved. We'll get incense and citrus back, but we'll lose copper and spices. Incense and citrus. Okay. So we're going to lose 4 happiness in this deal is what it looks like. And some gold. Some resources. Okay. So yes, we do. Alright. We are at positive happiness. That's good. And doing this does keep us... Ooh, look at that. So we'll move these guys here. Thankfully, we have a great general in range. We want him coming wide. He'll come here to protect him. This guy... We want these guys by the hills since they can step and shoot thanks to altitude training. We do want one ranged going wide. Well, no, we do have a range coming from behind. That's going to make this a little awkward. We'll do it this way. This is awkward too, but there's no way to do it not awkward. Alright. That's a lot of resources. So let's see here. He's citrus and cocoa.
Oh, thanks.
So we will try to get all of his gold per turn. Works. His concerns about our warmongering has increased. He's only got 1 gold anyway, so that's what we're going to have to do there. And then we can see what he'll give us. We have 2. Let's trade embassies first. Should have done that a while ago, probably. That's going to hurt us here, I bet. 2 for 2? No? Okay. What if we throw in a horse that you don't even want anyways? No? Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's going to end it for this part. Quite the cliffhanger to leave on. Portal looks wide open, and her army looks underdeveloped. We are going to get a shot in on this longswordsman, which is bittersweet. Ranged is not in range yet, but we can gobble up and kind of soak up. You know, there'll be other lightning rod. We are longswordsmen with double cover, so we're in very good position. And we do want some unit to be damaged, some melee unit to be damaged, so that as we move in, our crossbows can do their work. So yeah, this is exciting times. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave me a like and subscribe if you feel that I've earned it, and I will see you guys in the next part. Take care.